Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Fabian for Liberty. FabianForLiberty.com is my website. Thank you for joining me. All right, in this video, I want to talk about the unemployment rate for men. The Gateway Pundit had a really interesting article that quoted a pretty well-known economist who wrote about the Great Depression and saying that basically 1 out of 6 working males between 25 and 52 are working. So 1 out of 6 men in that working age bracket, 25 to 52, are working. So I wanted to touch on this. I had a conversation last week with a gentleman that I met. He's 28 years old, and he comes from a mining town in Virginia. And he was talking about how 2 years ago he visited, because his family lives out there, and how, things were going fairly well. The little small town with the main street had all these different shops that had been there since he was a child. He went there not too long ago. In fact, he went there Christmas last year, and basically every place was closed down except the local barbershop. And all the guys he went to high school with that actually went and worked at the mines right when they got out of high school, they're all on unemployment. All the jobs in that particular area, it's right on the border between Virginia and Kentucky, have been lost. All those mining jobs have been lost. Now, I have also heard that there's about 8,000 total mining jobs out there. That is a number that was given to me by a liberal friend of mine who's a big-time environmentalist. And whether that's the current job number that's gone down since the massive job loss in coal, it's just one area that I'm talking about, right? Just one area. Now, I'll tell you what, out in California, I look around, I see a lot of people employed. Los Angeles, places like Santa Monica, the Silicon Beach area that's being called. A lot of employment, a lot of help wanted signs everywhere, but the jobs are, for the most part, $10 an hour job. And, if you're in college, high school, college, early 20s, that may work. But if you have a family, that's not going to work. And this is really, really important. It's one of the things that I've talked about for a while now regarding the job paradigm. The job paradigm is fundamentally shifting right before our eyes. I find it amazing. Trump does talk about bringing jobs back to America, and he brings it, he talks about how ending trade deals and things like that, or renegotiating trade deals will help. And certainly that's possible. There's a lot of conservatives that say that is not possible. The point is that he's one of the few that actually does talk about this area, this job thing, because under Clinton, under Obama, all they talk about is the 4.9% unemployment rate. Now, the majority of men out of work have stopped looking for jobs. That's the most troubling number, because the truth is that most of those jobs that they had, whether they may have been in manufacturing, almost all those jobs are being outsourced now. Or they, through globalization or through applications, through technology, the job loss is increasing. This is why someone like Bill Gross, who is not only talked about helicopter money, but had taken it a step further and talked about a universal basic income due to the robot revolution. This is a big, prominent player in the investment world, used to run one of the largest bond funds in the world, PIMCO. And others are coming out and saying this, that in order to cope, and in essence to do what you see in Saudi Arabia, where people get a stipend from the oil revenue, so that people don't go riot in the street and go nuts because they don't have enough money to support their families, or for that matter, even eat. Now, of course, the job market in California is different. I mean, not all pockets of California are great. California is one of the top 10 largest economies in the world, comparable to Germany, France, other, leading countries. But around the rest of the United States, not so much. Not so much. Places like Ohio, parts of Florida, the South have been completely devastated by this Obamonomics Bush economy for the last 16 years. And it's not getting any better, right? It's not getting any better. And I talked about this yesterday regarding the fake, phony economy by the Fed that Trump called out. Well, the way economies get better is that you have to let them crash when they're phony, and you have to rebuild on savings and investments to create higher paying jobs, right? If you have a Federal Reserve, a central bank, money manipulating, creating really bogus boom and bust cycles and bogus asset bubbles, it takes away not only the value of the dollar, but it takes away from the ability for companies to pay more and jobs. That's why you see wages stagnated. They're not going up. And I almost want to laugh when I hear the Bureau of Labor Statistics come out and say, well, no, job or wages rose by 0.3525%, right? The truth is this, is that if you factor in inflation, people's wages are actually going down. This is really interesting because there's really no government solution to this. This is a free market solution. And also it's a solution that lies with you. I get a lot of comments that I bring it back to personal growth, and people talk about how I sell investment programs and things like that. And I've always said, look, I don't really give a rat's ass whether you want to be a real estate investor, whatever you want to do. But I'll tell you, this is a fundamental transformation that is happening around the country, in many ways around the world. These jobs likely will never come back. And so the question is, what do you do? Question to the coal miners that have lost their jobs in their early 20s. All they knew growing up is they wanted to be a coal miner because their dad and their grandfather were coal miners. Waiting around for the coal mine to open up, probably not the best use of strategy implementation of a drumbeat for your life. I would say, what do you do about it? And I get some people, may not be self-starters. Some people don't know what to do about it. I think if you're watching this YouTube channel, there is absolutely no reason for someone to be suffering financially, in my opinion, because of what I've called the golden age of business. So what's my response to 1 out of 6 men in the workforce? 1 out of 6, my God, that is a staggering number. I'll post a Gateway Pundit article down below that you could read. The job is personal perseverance, self-reliance. It's the only way. Waiting for government to fix any of this is literally, I believe, almost like a definition of insanity, because every election cycle, at least since I've been a kid, is we're going to bring these jobs back. We're going to bring these jobs back. The economy is going to be better than ever. We're going to create real high-paying jobs. That is not a possibility as long as you have central banks and the Federal Reserve that is running the country and running roughshod on the American people. Unfortunately, I wish I had a different message, but it's just the truth. Love to hear your feedback on this. I'm Fabian for Liberty. Fabian4Liberty.com is my website. You can sign up for my free webinar there that broadcasts daily. Was really excited this morning. Had a great podcast interview scheduled with one of the biggest real estate podcasts on iTunes. Unfortunately, the audio quality wasn't great, so we rescheduled for tomorrow, but I'll be posting that on my Facebook page. You can check me out on Facebook as well under Fabian for Liberty. Thank you so much for watching. Love to hear your feedback on this. I'm out.